ready to head out on my first backpacking trip of the season, and so as I'm packing my backpack, I thought I would do a quick video just to let you know what I pack, how I pack, and give you an idea of what preparation goes into this. So thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and if you have any questions as we go through this video, leave them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them. So first off, I'll start with the pack. I actually use a Z-Packs Arc Haul Zip. It's a 64-liter pack, and the reason it's called an Arc Haul is because there's an arc in the frame of the pack that keeps the pack off of your back. It just helps with minimizing sweating and getting all gross when it's when the pack sits right up against your back. Then you sweat a lot more, and it's just not any fun. So the pack sitting at an arc away from your back actually helps quite a bit. There's a good amount of airflow that goes in between your back and the pack, and yeah, so that's been a big help, and I love that about this backpack. It's also a lightweight backpack, so it weighs just, I think, just under 2 pounds, or right around the 2-pound range, which coming from Osprey, which is what I used before, and that was like 4 pounds empty. So it's a huge difference, and I really like it. So I've not had any trouble with it. There's no rips, tears, and I've used it for the past probably 5 years. So I'm really happy with it. So I'm just going to go over a couple of other things on the outside of the pack when I'm wearing it. This is pretty close to how I wear it. I am experimenting with this bag. This is actually all of my camera gear. And this year I'm experimenting with keeping it all on my waist and accessible. I don't know how that's going to work out because this bag alone is about 4 pounds, a little under 4 pounds. And having that 4 pounds like right here on my leg is kind of annoying. So we'll see how it goes. But if it doesn't feel right on my waist, sitting on my leg like this as I'm hiking, I can always take this bag and attach it to the top of the pack. There are attachment straps, so it will hang on the back of the pack, but then I can't access my camera gear as I'm hiking. I'd have to take the pack off, so I'm trying to avoid that. But anyway, there are other options. I'm just trying it here first because it's very accessible, so we'll see how that goes. But this, like I said, this has all my camera gear in it. It has extra batteries, it has charging cables, it has my video camera equipment in it, my wireless mic, which I'm wearing right now, the Pocket 2, DJI Pocket 2, and then I have a DJI Osmo Action Cam that's in here. Spare batteries for that, not very many, but just a couple, and then a power bank to recharge the I have a sat device. I have my iPhone that has GPS maps on it and gut hooks. If any of you know what Gut Hooks Guide is, basically it's an app where you can download the app, and then within the app you can purchase maps for all of the long trails, the major long trails, and more. So it's actually a really cool app. It works without cell service. If you ever came across a point in the trail where you weren't sure where the trail went, you can get that out and check it, and it'll show you where you are and where the trail is, and it's fantastic. So just an added little bit of security. Then I have this DeLorme Garmin InReach Explorer sat device. This is for emergencies. I also leave tracks when I'm backpacking, so my family and friends who are interested can follow along on a map online. You enter a password and you can follow me wherever. So my family and friends are grateful for that, and I think they have fun following me and seeing where I am at any given time on the trail. So, but it's also for emergencies. There's an SOS button on here, so if something happened, I can press that SOS button, and I won't be just SOL out there. So this is a mandatory thing for me, especially when I go out by myself. So I clip that on my shoulder strap. My camera is sitting on a Peak Design clip, and the clip goes around the strap, and then the camera has a plate on the tripod mount that simply slides in. It slides into the clip and it locks. So it can't fall off when it's in there. And to get it off, I have to press a button, release the clip, and pull it out. So that is actually really handy. If it rains, I've got to take it off and put it in the back of the pack, but that's not a huge deal. Otherwise, it stays right here and it's super accessible. And I don't have to keep taking my pack off to access my camera gear to take still photos. So most of this in the small pack is for video work, which is new for me this season. I've never done videos. So that's why this is an experiment. But it also houses the extra batteries and SD cards for my still photography. So that is it for that. Side pockets, I keep 1 liter of water in each side pocket, and I just use, this is actually easier than it looks, but I use store-bought 1 liter bottles, and this is also new for me this season. I used to use vapor collapsible water bottles, and there are some issues with them standing upright when I'm filling them. When I filter water and I'm trying to squeeze the water into the bottle, because it's collapsible, it doesn't always stand upright, and so sometimes it can be challenging to filter water into it. So I'm going to try these bottles this year. They will stand up on their own. The only bad thing is the mouth is not a wide mouth, and so it might be difficult to filter water and actually get it through that narrow opening, but I'm going to try it. We'll see. Anyway, and we'll see if I can actually get it back in the pocket without breaking my arm. Yeah, so when I had the Osprey pack, it had a bladder. And most of you probably know what this is, but the bladder sits inside the pack, and there's a hose that is that comes through an opening in the neck of the bag, and it comes around, and you can strap it into your shoulder strap, and you can drink water from the hose anytime you need it, and it's super simple. But it's also a pain in the butt to get out of the pack when you need to filter water and refill it. And so the Z-Packs actually does not have a pocket for a bladder, and I'm okay with that. I like this, even though sometimes it's a pain to get them out. I can eventually, it's not a huge deal. So I've gone to this, and I actually much prefer it. So yeah, water bottles there, and yeah, I think I'll take the pack off and show you what's inside now. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're looking at the outside of the pack here, and I've already shown you the bottom pockets. I keep 1 liter of water on each side. This top pocket is my tent fly. I used to pack a separate tarp just in case it started pouring down, raining on the trail, and we needed to get off. My previous dog actually didn't like the rain. She thought she was going to melt. So every time it rained, we had to stop hiking and put up a tarp and get under the tarp. So fortunately, I think the 2 little beasts that I have now don't really care much about getting wet, so they'll probably be fine. So I ditched the extra tarp, and I just packed my tent rain fly. I pulled it out of the tent bag and put it just up here in this pocket. So if it started hailing or raining really hard, we could still get off the side of the trail, tie this to a couple of trees and get under it. So that is all that's in this top pocket right there, is just the tent rain fly. On the bottom straps here, I have my tent in a waterproof stuff sack, and it's just a 2-person ultralight tent. It's a Big Agnes Tiger Wall, for those who might know what that is. And it's a 2-person tent. Basically, that means me on one side and both of the dogs on the other side. So it works all right. Top pocket on this other side has my water filter and my bidet bag. This is a new item this year, but I'm keeping it in the top pocket. This is it's a run line for the dogs. So when we get to camp, or if we want to take a longer break, I can actually tie this up to 2 trees like a hammock, and it's a line that I can connect the dogs to, and they can run the line and safely kind of run around without having to be leashed to me. So that's in the top pocket, front pocket here. Leave it, leave it. Yeah, you know what that is, don't you? Can we leave it over here? Leave it alone, babies. So what else is in here? Rain jacket is right in the front pocket where it's quickly accessible. So this top pocket also holds a smaller waterproof stuff sack, and inside it I have a fleece cap, a pair of super thin gloves, a medium-sized pack towel. I love these pack towels, so I'll get to this when I get to the contents inside the pack. But I have a small pack towel for my kitchen stuff, and I just use it to help clean out my pots before I pack them back up. This one is a medium-sized one. It comes in handy, especially with dogs. There's always something that I need to use a towel for. Last item in this small bag is my headlamp. And so I keep that in a waterproof bag so nothing happens to it if it rains hard. And I keep it in the front pocket here because I want it easily accessible if I hike into the night or get up early in the morning and need it. So that's the front zipper pocket. This is why this pack is called an Arcall zip, because if you lay it flat on the ground just like this, you can open the pack and access the innermost contents by unzipping this all the way around and pulling this back. And now you can access the inside contents. So there is a top access. So you could sit this upright on the ground and access the contents from the top. But this is so much easier and I love it. So you can lay it flat on the ground like this, unzip the top part, fold it back, and there is everything you need. You don't have to take everything out to access certain things. You can just open this top part and pull out exactly what you need. So up here in this top part is my sack, which is a bear bag. That will eventually have food in it. It doesn't yet. Haven't gotten that far ahead. But then if you unclip these straps that keep everything in, I'll start with this stuff sack. All of these are waterproof. They're actually Sea to Summit Sil Nylon waterproof stuff sacks, and they're super thin and super lightweight, but I've used them for 6 years and have never had a tear or anything in them, so they're great. But I'll open this up. This is my basically my night stuff. So when we get to camp and I'm inside the tent, this is stuff that I might use inside the tent. It has my sleeping pad in it. It has a little battery operated pad pump. This black thing is my puffy. I won't take all of this out, but in the very bottom is extra underwear and wet wipes. Sometimes I like to wipe down when I'm in the tent at night before I go to sleep, just clean myself off. And then there is a thermal blanket, emergency blanket, and that's it for that bag. So then in this bag I have my kitchen kit. We'll open this up. I've got a little tea mug. This thing only weighs an ounce, so I'm not really worried about bringing an extra mug for tea. I like my tea in the evenings, so like I said, 1 ounce for this titanium mug, and it's little. It doesn't hold much, but it holds enough. And then I've got my actual cook kit. It's a 550 milliliter pot. The stove, leave it, boo. Jaffe, leave it. Leave it. Go lay down. Thank you. My spork, the stove, a mini Bic lighter, my small pack towel. I think that's it. They're all inside this pot. And then I have my 3.5 ounce fuel. And also I keep my first aid kit in here. So the first aid kit is for me and the dogs. I do carry an antibiotic for the dogs just in case something would happen that requires it. I have a green goose salve that works really well. I've used it for many years and it's amazing. So I pack that, and that goo is what I use on their paws as well. So all of that is in here, and then my own first aid, gauze, Band-Aids, Advil, Tylenol, glucosamine, Benadryl. The dogs can use Benadryl as well if they need to. What else is in there? Pepto-Bismol tablets. My toothbrush and my toothpaste tablets are in here. I have a little 4-inch toothbrush and I used toothpaste tablets. Those are in there. Medical tape. I have been having issues with plantar fasciitis, so I actually have kinesiology tape in here as well in case I need it. And then this last bag in here is my sleeping quilt in this waterproof stuff sack right here. So I have a 10-degree enlightened equipment quilt that I use. And then what I have done is I have cut, I think it's a 24 by 48 inch piece of Reflectix, and I folded it up and I have basically put it up against the bottom part of my pack. That's a sleeping pad for the dogs. So I lay that out on their side of the tent and they can sleep on that. It's heat reflective. It'll reflect their body heat back towards them to help keep them warm. So I think that's it. This is a pea rag for those who may not know. It's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah, so the only thing I have left to do is pack my food, and I use an Ursack OPSAC combination, and this is an Ursack. It has been tested against bears. It's very difficult for bears to break that with their teeth or their claws. So it's not impossible, but certainly it's resistant. And then an OPSAC is this thing. It's a Ziploc bag. It's a heavier plastic and it's odor-proof. So you put all your food and smelly items in these, you zip them closed and you put them in your Ursack and then hang it or tie it to a tree. So I think that's pretty much it. If you all have any questions, you can put them in the comments and I will answer them as soon as I can. Like I said, I'm getting ready to head out, and so I won't be able to answer once I'm on the road on my way there and once I'm on the trail. I had thought I would be able to do some live streams from the trail, but apparently live stream requires a Wi-Fi connection. Obviously, I'm not going to have that on the trail. I'll be lucky if I have cell phone service, so no live streams from the trail, sorry. But I will do video from the trail and I'll post it later. So yeah, if you want to see anything specific, drop it in the comments and I'll be sure to cover it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks.